former deputy assistant to the president, Sebastian Gorka. You know, you wrote this book that we can defeat ISIS. When you get to lone wolf territory, Dr. Gorka, it becomes that much more difficult. How do we know? How are we able? We have the most sophisticated weaponry of intelligence available to mankind. Is it possible that we could find every one of these lone wolves before people die like today?
We can do much better. We absolutely can, especially under the presidency of Donald J. Trump. Number one, we have to jettison this idea of a lone wolf. Lone wolf was invented as a phrase or was made popular by the Obama administration to make Americans disconnect the dots. There has not been a significant jihadi attack since September the 11th in the United States where one person acted completely isolated from everybody else. Even Major Nidal Hassan, the man who was by himself in Fort Hood, was in regular contact with Anwar al-Awlaki, who blessed his attack on his fellow servicemen. So number one, no more political correctness. That gets thrown out of the window.
But
Second,
Dr. Gorka, I'm not taking issue with you. I just think this is important. Are there not people that in the privacy of their own homes or not, you know, somehow identifying with this sick, twisted, evil cause, adopting, oh, I'm going to be a disciple of, I'm going to take orders from whoever gives them to me, make an attack on Halloween, and then acts independently? You're saying we should jettison that entire idea, that that doesn't exist?
Yeah, we should jettison the idea that there's an individual in their basement who one day is an upstanding American citizen, and then a few weeks later, just because they went to a few websites, they become a jihadi. Never happened. The closest we got was that pathetic case of Jihadi Jane, and that wasn't a serious case. When you look at serious plots that have occurred, there's always some connection. Either the individual traveled to Pakistan, to the Middle East, to Syria, got training, or they were in touch with another human being who indoctrinated them, who blessed their action against the infidel. So there's a footprint. There's an electronic and a physical footprint, and we have to identify it, number one, by understanding there's no front line in this war like there were in olden days. There's no trench out in France. There's no front line in Germany or in the Asia Pacific. The front line, Sean, is when you leave your house in the morning, whether you're going to a Christmas party in an office in San Bernardino, whether you're going on a fun run in Boston. You have to be responsible for your own safety. Use the Second Amendment if you are trained and legally capable to do so. I know you believe in it. I believe in it. And secondly, even if you don't have the mental fortitude to carry a gun to protect yourself and your loved ones, be aware of your surroundings. And when you see something suspicious, say it. These attacks take weeks and sometimes months to prepare. We know the San Bernardino killers were undertaking suspicious activity before the attack that their neighbors refused to report for fear of being called Islamophobes or racist. That has to end. You see something, you say something, because you could be saving lives.
You know, you say that, and I want to go, in spite of all that has happened and all the terror around the world. I have 4 TVs in my radio studio today as this was all unfolding live on radio. And I look at a CNN fake news chyron, and it actually says, witness, suspect was yelling, God is great, in Arabic. Okay, he said Allahu Akbar. So somebody at fake news CNN, there is this fear. Remember in the case, we had the one case where the neighbors saw these guys working late at night and didn't want to say anything. And I think your point is well taken. Let me ask this question. We have talked at length about the misuse and the great sophistication and the weaponry of our intelligence community. Every phone call, I was told by Bill Binney, 34-year veteran, NSA, every phone call, every email, every text message is literally being monitored by our intelligence. We have the capability of picking it up. Can we legally, can we thread the needle constitutionally, unreasonable search and seizure? Can we thread that needle and monitor what people say without getting into people's private lives? Because we've seen the dangers with surveillance and unmasking and leaking, you know, raw intelligence. General Flynn, a victim of this himself.
Right. we have the best intelligence community in the world, but because we love our technology, we have a propensity to make the haystack bigger. We're looking for needles in the haystack, and we collect more and more data, and it doesn't necessarily make us smarter. The focus on the individual terrorist is, as far as I'm concerned, the wrong way to go. That's mowing the grass. The real center of gravity in the jihadi movement are the ideologues, the people who on Twitter, on Facebook, aren't banned, aren't removed, but have 40,000 followers, 50,000 followers. That's where we have to start. We have to respect the First Amendment, but it's the people who feed it.
They'll strap bombs on their own children in the name of Allah. And promise them 72 virgins. They themselves won't do it, but they'll encourage everyone else. Dr. Gorka, you stay with us. Stay right there.